Kyle, disappointing defeat against the old rivals Bradford here at Odsal. What's the mood like in the dressing room after that one?
As you can imagine, not good, but look, you get what you deserve, don't you, in rugby league? So, no, it's not a time to feel sorry for yourself, is it? So, yeah.
Started off really well, put them under a lot of early pressure. The boys really came to play, committed, and then obviously Tangata's try early in the piece. Was that just rewards for your efforts in the opening quarter of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought we did some great stuff in that first half, didn't we? And so did Bradford, really. That, you know, they was under pressure a bit. We was under pressure, and both teams, you know, had a good crack at each other. But ultimately, it's not a 40-minute game, is it? So you got to play for 80, and unfortunately, that's not a strong point for us at the moment.
We spoke a few times in recent, interviews about concentration and being on the ball. There was a couple of times that we put the kick-offs out on the full, kicked out on the full.
Yeah.
And those things compound, and the errors. Bradford seemed to take advantage of every one of our errors today, don't you feel?
It's schoolboy, isn't it? Really, that's not something I can, that's not something I can account for in terms of staying concentrated for taking kick-offs or whatever it may be. It's not just one isolated thing, is it? And like you say, you play against a good team, you get beat. So look, very disappointed, but ultimately you got to do better, otherwise you're going to get beat. So you got to take it on the chin.
Going in all square at half time after all that pressure that we did withstand, that must have given you something to build on for the second half. What was the talk like at half time?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Calm, composed, all the right messages, but ultimately talking's talking, innit? And you can talk as much as you want and say all the right words. Everybody's got all the right words, aren't they? When you're not under pressure, well, can you do it when you're under pressure? And ultimately, it's not brand new to us. This is it. We understand what challenge we got in terms of delivering when you're under pressure. We can't do it consistently. So until we've got enough time to fix it, then you can't be too disappointed, can you?
And then that early try straight after the second half, we were chasing the game. Yeah. At that point, a misread in defence. Is that another one of these examples of concentration lapse?
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's things to work on, but ultimately, when you're under pressure, can you deliver? And that's all it is. Ultimately, you can do it in training when nobody's there and your heart's all right. But I mean, when you're under pressure in a game, you've got to be able to do it. Then if you don't, you're going to get burnt against a good team, and that's what we did.
And Calcott Simbin putting us down to 12 at a crucial point of the game. What was your view of that incident? It seemed like Gill was stumbling.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. To be honest. I think he was a bit unlucky there, Cal. He was great tonight, by the way. I think that was a bit unlucky. I'm just glad the lad who got hit, he wasn't badly injured, because it could have been quite a bad one, that.
And then do you think, obviously, after that, we go down to 12, they score a couple of late tries. Do you think that sort of put a bit of a gloss on the scoreline of what was a really tough game?
No, I don't actually. I thought for big moments in the second half, I thought we were quite poor. Like I said, it was just concentration. It was just a few little bits and pieces. So I think Bradford fully deserved, what they got in the end there. You can't play for 40, 50 minutes, Ricky. You got to play for 80, and if you don't, like I said, you ultimately it's what you deserve.
Just a quick word then on Adam O'Brien, 300 career appearances tonight. I mean, what a milestone that is for a great servant of the sport.
Unbelievable, that it's got to be respected. Fantastic player. Unfortunately, we couldn't deliver for him today. I think he deserved it a little bit more than that. But like I said, the maximum respect to OB for 300, and look, there's plenty more left in him, isn't there? So it's great.
The fans really turned out. Obviously, they leave disappointed, but the boys put it all out there, and they really showed up and backed the lads all night.
Yeah. We wouldn't expect any different, would we? They always do. Like I said, unfortunately, tonight we couldn't play for the full 80, which is really disappointing, actually. But yeah, we really appreciate the support.
And finally, then back-to-back home games coming up here at Odsal. First with Sheffield and then Hunslet. Focusing on Sheffield, obviously next Sunday you've got a couple of extra days of rest. You've got to really go at them and make sure we get the points down rather than the performances to keep that playoff spot alive.
Yeah. I'm not one to be, that playoffs and all that sort of stuff. It's all great, but at the end of the day, it's week by week, innit? And you got to turn up and knock one over and then knock the other over. So let's do our review and let's stay focused on Sheffield, because they're a good side themselves, and we need to be on our best to beat them.